So Class MA is anything you can use Class E. Anyone know what that is? Sure. Oh, I can just talk at you for longer, that's fine. So Class E is typically going to be something like a shop, it could be financial services, it could be a estate agents, hairdressers, it could be restaurants, it could be offices, and any of those at the moment, and also light industrial, and they can be converted over to residential. In Norwich we've got a Article 4 area for offices to residential, and it just literally limits offices in part Class E to residential. But interestingly enough, they didn't close their loophole for Class G, so you can still convert half those buildings anyway. So it allows you to convert up to 1,500 square metres of a building into residential. So if you've got a huge building, you might want to just leave the downstairs as commercial and then convert upstairs. And then you can have, depends on different parts of the city, but you can do the whole building, parts of the building. You can just do the ground floor if you've already got the upstairs converted. On one that we've just done, we've actually just converted the old restaurant's kitchen into a bedroom, and we put in a hallway in through that, so you don't have to convert the whole space. And that also really helped for conservation areas, which we were in at the same time. But Article 4, there's only in a few areas, but you can literally just Google it. You can type in the area that you're in, Article 4, Class MA, and you'll see if something pops up. And usually it's just done on certain buildings, but it's quite interesting because if it's only on offices and it's in some other class use, you'll be able to change it. So, challenges, I told you all that, no windows. I had to pay all my professional fees twice for most of them. Because I'd already gone out and had all my valuation done with one lender, I then had to do them all over again. Where I'd gone off and got my planning under Class O, and we'd just done a rush job, we then had to go get new sets of flood risk assessment, we had to get new sets, I've lost the word for it, I'm just going to crack on. And then the vendor pulled out. So we agreed to get the whole sale all through, and I kept saying, I want to do an exchange, I want to get it locked in, I want it sorted out. And they're like, no, just keep going. I said, look, can I meet the owner face to face? Because there's a lot to be said for a handshake. And they just didn't want to meet, and then eventually, they actually put the property up for rent again, let the property out. The agent was really underfoot and let the property back out, and then came back to, he was doing what the client wanted. They came back to me and then said, look, the new tenant we put in has just gone under, would you like to buy it again? I was like, yep. The absolute win was the junior planner popping his head in the ceiling roof and saying, yes, you can have that. Quite like that, and giving me loads of free space. One thing I always try to do, and hopefully for those of you who like a bit more interior design a bit, don't worry, I'm almost getting to the end of this, is I like putting pictures together. So when you give it to a builder or a developer or someone who to work through the whole progress, how you want it to look. Because I can turn around and say one thing, I want to convert a building, you can say another thing, I want to convert a building, but you might be fitting slab white kitchens from Magnet, I might be wanting matte handleless, whatever, units. I want them with oak worktops tiered down to the floor. I might want, which I am fitting soon, ceilings that as you walk in, the lights shoot and they change colour. I put herringbone flooring in, I put smart locks in, so then when you go in, you don't really need to have keys for any of your rooms or anything else like that, which is great if you're going to run it as an Airbnb at the end, which is my goal. I put in to say, for example, I want to put, quickly, I've lost it, mirrors that you would find in a
fun house.
Fun house, yeah. That's the word I'm looking for. And then I've said even in like the hallway, you want to make sure you've got somewhere you can put your post in. And it's just coming up with the idea so you can give it to someone else and they know what they're expecting to deliver. Even down to this one here is, what wall colour do you want your walls painted? And then when it comes down to building something out, when it comes down to building a property out, you need a whole load of professionals to do it. And doing development is obviously a step up from doing a flip or a refurb or organising and managing and running trade yourself. So the first and the most important one is probably get, after your broker, after you've got your planning permission, you need to get a building consultant. And a building consultant is effectively like a project manager for doing your development. So they will go out and they will find other structural engineers to work with, they will find builders to work with, they will go through, they'll sort out your asbestos, they will go through, they can find everyone else to kind of bring your team together. And the idea is eventually you end up almost acting like the CEO. You're not the person doing the day-to-day running around, oh, you've run out of tiles, do you need some extra bricks? So you start with your building consultants, and then they're then bringing your professionals together. and I had a slide, but I don't seem to have it in here, which went through every single person that you need in there. They create a building package, and the idea is in there, it's going to have everything from how each floor is going to look, the sections, what type of heating systems you've got, for example, I'm using infrared heating, which is built into the ceilings. But if you're going to do that, you then need to give them the pack that shows them how to install it, how to fit it, because it might not be a product they usually use. You have something called a SAP calculation, and the SAP calculation is for your energy assessor. They will work out what the flat is going to achieve in its energy rating before you've even built it, because you're going to give you your specification to start with. And then once you've included all of this information, including work drawings, they then have this package. They then send it out to probably anything between 5 or maybe 10 different builders. You will have some straight away say, I don't like it because I can't get access to the site, I don't like it because of X, Y, Z, or I love it and I really want to work on it. But you'll go through all those, you'll find a builder, you'll set a time frame, and then once you then get going, you then have to keep on top of your money. And you really have to keep a close eye on it because it can easily run away, and that will be working out roughly what time and what expenditure is going to go out where. And you're going to turn and say, look, okay, we're at currently spent £75,000, the run rate on this, so how much you're spending each month, we're roughly going to hit £100,000 in about a week and a half's time. Okay, let's call up the lender, and we'll turn and say, look, we should be hitting £100,000 in 2 weeks' time. Could you please come out on this date to see all the work that we've done? Here's a copy of all the invoices for everything that we paid out. And then they turn up in 2 weeks and say, yes, you have spent all that money, we're happy with it, here's your 100 grand back, and then you can then keep bankrolling, keep working through the development. So, I think you've almost got me, almost done. There you go. I think I bored 1 or 2 people, I certainly have one falling asleep. So, as I said, I only work with a handful of investors at the beginning. I'm happy to run through anyone, whether it's commercial conversions, flips, and the whole process from start to finish. I can easily walk you around projects. I've got a few on the go at the moment, so I'm more than happy to show you what I'm up to. Take you around site visits. So if anyone would like any of that information, and I've got a black book of contacts, got all the contacts I use for getting asbestos sorted, getting surveys done. Anyone on the sun, then get my card, get in touch with me. I'm more than happy to show you around. If you fancy coming to Norwich, we're not that far away. And then I also just do, if someone just wants to lend money, just lend it, and I'll pay you more than I would if you're going to lend and loan. And I like to think I've got a bit of a track record. So that's me, Tristan from ZebraInvest.